Hi, and welcome to Transformation Now. Hi, I'm Rita Rocker, speaker, author, trainer with SoaringHigher.rocks, and I want to welcome you and just really eager to share information for you regarding surefire ways to a powerful professional image. And most of that is in my book, which is a rule of thumb book, A Small Business Guide to Marketing Yourself for Success, because that's very important to market ourselves. We are a brand. So we need to be a brand that people want to work with, be around, and do business with. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. I do have a mini book on this if you're interested. And so surefire ways to a powerful professional image. But I would say that these also, not just professionally, but just in life in general, these are all very important key issues for treating everybody, whether they're in business, schools, home, all of those. So in today's competitive business environment, a professional image and good manners can make the difference between getting ahead and being left behind. As objective as we would like to think we are, we still judge people by how they act, how they speak, how they look, and how they write, whether it's writing on their phone or their computer. Did you know that it only takes 7 seconds to capture a prospect's or person's attention? 7 seconds. So start thinking about that when you meet anyone, whether you know them or not, or maybe you're just seeing them again. But think about, what are you feeling those first 7 seconds that you see someone or you meet someone new? Start being very aware of that, because people are making the same judgments about you in return. And so it only takes 20 seconds then of speaking with someone, hearing someone talk, that you have to get the substance of your message across to them. Well, why is that such a short period of time? It's how you're presenting yourself, how you're speaking. What is the tone of your voice? How loud is it? How confident is it? And what are the words that you're actually saying? So within 20 minutes, especially if you're in a networking event, for instance, 20 seconds, they are going to determine if they want to continue to listen to you or not. And think about it and watch what you're doing, because within 20 seconds of someone talking to you, you're probably going to be making a pretty good determination on whether this is someone you really want to stop and talk to and get to know, not just to sell them your products or your services, but to build a business relationship or not. So again, 20 seconds, not a very long time. So think ahead of time, the type of people you're maybe going to meet in a networking event, and what types of businesses maybe they have, and how you want to get to know them. Because again, it's not all about us, it's all about them. And so we have to think about that as we're meeting new people and talking to people. So although it isn't really fair, again, people are judged, first of all, in those first few seconds, by their self-image, outlook on life, moral character, economic and educational levels, trustworthiness, social position, and future success. People can even judge others by how successful they think that they will be in the future. So as I backtrack a little bit on this, our self-image is everything. And people can think, oh, you're a bully, or you're strong, you're confident, I'd love to get to know you more, or you seem like you don't have any self-esteem whatsoever, and I'm too busy to talk to you. So honestly, your self-image, what you're projecting to people, is going to make a huge difference on whether people want to talk to you, think you're someone that would be of value to them as a friend or a business associate or a client. And then our outlook on life. People can tell so much about someone's outlook on life just by how they're acting. Do they look happy? Do they look sad? Do they look angry? Recently, I was at a high school talking to some students on understanding gender roles. And honestly, outlook on life, a lot of those kids look totally sad, broken, downhearted. And my heart really went out to them, because I could just tell their outlook on life was one of defeat, one of hopelessness, and it was very, very sad, but they carried it on them by not only how they walked, but how they looked, how their eyes looked was amazing. And so think about that. Our moral character. That's interesting nowadays, even more so, probably more so in the women's area of what, sometimes they kind of want to look like a physical object. People who are dressed with very skimpy outfits on, are they really interested in business or other things? And I remember talking to a couple businessmen at a meetup group many years ago, and they were talking about even in the courtrooms, some of the female attorneys are exposing way too much of their bodies, and it's like they're losing their credibility as focusing on law and their client because of how they're projecting themselves to everyone in there. And so we have to think of that as far as moral character is what are we looking like we're trying to sell, or what kind of attention are we trying to get from everyone around us? So people make a lot of judgments about moral character. So if you're in a business situation and it's more of a professional situation, you want to be very careful about that. I remember coaching a young lady one time, and she had a lot of qualities. She had recently graduated from college. She was a very smart girl, and she wondered why she was not able to get a particular job. And so the company, the recruiting company that was representing her said, she has so much going for her, but would you please sit down and talk to her and coach her a little bit? So I did, and she was talking about this very conservative suit that she wore to this interview. And I said, well, that sounds great. I said, what were you wearing as a blouse underneath it? Well, she had a little bustier that was very sexy. That's why they did not hire her. Her suit was great, but what was underneath it was not. And so again, people are going to make judgments about that and how you're going to represent their company. I mean, same with men. There are certain things we can and cannot wear depending on obviously what kind of career, what kind of company, kind of position you want in there. Our economic and educational levels are also something that people make judgment about. I have fought a lot with even poverty and a lot of financial issues. So, a lot of times, people get nice clothes at Goodwill, they can get nice clothes at consignment shops for practically nothing. And so if you're struggling right now with your economic level, there's a lot of things you can do as far as grooming and finding nice things for just a few dollars to appear, in a sense, more professional, because you are, but maybe budget has been too tight at the time. So you can find a lot of good things very inexpensively by doing that. So you're already projecting yourself in a higher level economically until you actually get there. The same with educational levels. Some of the most successful women, especially, but both men and women that I've known, are ones that either did not go to college at all, or they only had some college. So don't put yourself down if it's like, well, I didn't finish my degree, I don't have the educational level. Because again, some of the most successful people I've known, a couple of women that owned recruiting companies, millionaires, no college whatsoever, but they used their minds, used their skills. And so think about that as well as educational levels. A friend of mine went right from high school to used to be the biggest advertising agency in Omaha, but also it was, throughout the United States. And she ended up, when I ran into her many years later, she was a vice president in the media area, and she was traveling to New York, Chicago, LA, places like that. And she still felt kind of badly that she did not have one course in college, but she was a vice president because she worked her way up. So don't always think that, oh my gosh, I can't even try because I can't compete with the people with even a bachelor's or a master's. No, you can, because it's the brains up here, it's the attitude, it's the intentions of your heart. And I'm working on that myself, so I know how that goes. So think about that. Trustworthiness. A lot of times you can tell if somebody, after you get to know them and talk to them, are they trustworthy? Do they seem a little bit, shaky, like maybe you can't trust them? So that's something people will make judgments about too, and how we're behaving, how we're treating other people, whether it's at a restaurant or how do we treat other people? Can we be trustworthy? Are we trying to do anything that's sneaky to get out of paying a bill or whatever the case may be? And then the social position, there again, a lot of times we have to leave people in situations that are keeping us held down, I know from personal experience, that aren't good for our social position, because maybe they just want to stay at the bars and party and all of that and spend the nights watching TV, and you're trying to build yourself up to a higher social position. And I don't mean that in an arrogant way, but where you get what you deserve, you have the kind of career and job you deserve, and the kind of quality, good people that you deserve. So there's a lot in there, and I've been spending a lot of time lately, probably 50 to 60 hours in the last probably 6 weeks, of learning all about things, even like somatics, which is the like the central nervous system, and how there's things that could be in the recesses of your subconscious that have kept you back for years and years and years because of, like PTSD in my case, I found out I had, but it was back there so far in my subconscious, I didn't even know it was there until recently. And so think about that too, as far as your future success. A lot of times there's something I'm watching on YouTube now called Stoics, and it's really interesting because it's who we are, what triggers us, a lot of it, our value, our worth, and how to handle situations. It's very positive, and I would say godly in a lot of ways. So think about things you can do too for your future success, so you can grow and you can learn and you can go forward and be blessed with that, because it makes such a huge difference. And not let things hold you back. If you see when there's people that are treating you a certain way, or maybe a song, causes you to go back, there's a trigger there that you want to investigate and deal with. Why does this always bother me? Why does this hurt? Because it'll go back in your life, maybe to childhood or somewhere, and something that you want to be released from. Okay, another thing is exceptional business protocol. Well, what is protocol? It's a code, it's a custom, it's an agreement within, say, a company, or maybe military has a lot of protocols, things like that. It could be a set of rules to be followed by the people who are involved in that company, that organization, whatever the case may be. And business protocol is really, really important to get ahead in the world. It's the epitome of professionalism, and it's all about presenting ourselves with the kind of polish we show to others that we can be taken seriously. Okay, because that's really important. Well, why wouldn't we be taken seriously? Just think about when you meet other people. Is it someone who's just goofing around and maybe they just lack self-confidence, but they're acting disrespectful or mocking people, or being kind to everyone, talking to people, treating them all the same? So, if we want to be taken seriously, we have to think about, if I was looking at myself, would I take myself seriously by maybe what I'm saying, what I'm doing, how I am behaving, the words, the thoughts that are coming out of my mouth? So think about that and then say, why or not? Why would I be taken seriously? Or why would I not be taken seriously? Because you can start judging yourself by behaviors and actions, and think of, when you meet people, you're going to know fairly quickly if there's someone you can take seriously, or it's like, yeah, they don't even know what they're talking about, or they don't care, they're just being goofy. So think about that. People will make judgments about if they can take us seriously. And so we want to think of that as well. It's using a code of behavior based on consideration and thoughtfulness. Now there again, someone who's really strong and who is in authority, yes, courtesy and thoughtfulness. That does not mean letting someone run over us or treat us like we are inferior, etc. So there again, I remember working for a senior vice president in a large corporation that's no longer here because of a lot of trouble they got into. But he treated everyone the same, whether it was the custodian or the president of the company, the directors, whoever it was. He treated everyone the same. He remembered people's names. He would tell them all hello. Didn't matter what position they had. And he was so well liked and respected for that. Everybody knew he was a wealthy senior executive, but yet it made them feel good when they could see that they mattered to him, no matter what position that they had. And so we think about that. Manners, appreciation, thoughtfulness is important, but that doesn't mean allowing someone to bully us. Or sometimes people think if I bully this person, if I try to control them, then they'll do what I want them to do, maybe for a while. But that's not a way to treat people, and that reputation follows as well. So the polished professional, why you seriously want good business etiquette. It's important because it will differentiate us from the competition, okay? So we want to be differentiated from competition. It's a tough world out there. A lot of people are competing for the same products, the same clients, the same friends, all of that. And so think about this, the defining reason why someone is chosen over someone else. And I have heard several times where someone purchased a product or a service or went to a company or a person who actually charged more money than someone else, but it was because they differentiated themselves from the competition by how they looked, how they act, how they spoke to people, the quality of service. Maybe they went overboard and gave more service that they didn't really have to, but they knew it was the right thing to do. They worked with them as a team. And so you want to think about that and make sure that you're differentiating yourself from the competition by the things you do, the things you say, the quality of your communication, the quality of your service. Because a lot of times now, I've gone into the bank in different places where the tellers were just talking amongst themselves. They kind of looked at you like, well, what do you want? And so, and I'm sure you could all agree that a lot of the customer service we have nowadays is barely any kind of customer service. And so think about that as well. What would make people choose us over someone else? What makes you choose someone over someone else when you're looking for a product, a service, a partner in a business, whatever the case may be? What makes you want to know someone better? Stop and think about, what are the things that I look for when I want to know someone better? And then turn that around and think, well, then what are they looking for when they want to get to know someone better? To be a partner in a business, to be a teammate, whatever the case may be, to be on their team at work, to be hired. So again, that makes a big difference. Think about all those things and start watching what's going on around you, how you're feeling and how other people are projecting they feel about you, your products, and your services. Professional protocol enables us to have confidence in a variety of settings with people from all walks of life. And that's important. We want to be able to relate to people from all walks of life. And a lot of times, and I was this way more when I was younger, it's like, well, I don't have the money, I don't have the clothes, I don't have as much education. Therefore, I felt inferior to be certain places where people had a lot of money, where they had a lot of degrees behind their name, where they had high important jobs. And it took a long time to work through that of, hey, we all put our pants on the same way. We're all God's kids. Our blood is red no matter who we are, what color we are, etc. And so think about that is confidence that we have from people of all walks of life. Because I remember giving a program to, it was a community college here, and it was on our image, communication skills, all of that, and it was everyone from the custodian and the maintenance up to the president and the vice president of the college, all in the same room at the same time, hearing my same message. And I'm going, oh my gosh, what am I going to do here in order to relate to everyone? It came out fine, but we have to think, how do we communicate with people? Do we have confidence to communicate with people from all walks of life and know that we are just as valuable as that person who's the millionaire with the fancy cars and all of that? Because you are of utmost value and worth, and nobody is better than anyone else. And that's something to remember sometimes when we get a little bit afraid to go around and be by people that maybe make us a little uncomfortable. Nope, we're all the same. We are all God's kids. We are all the same. So, how do we conduct ourselves in meetings? Are we trying to sneak and listen to our, watch our phone instead of actually listening to someone? How are we conducting ourselves? Are we quiet? Are we wanting to say something? Do we want to get something resolved? But it's like, well, nobody's going to care what I say anyway. That's easy to feel that way. but we all have ideas, resolutions, things that we can contribute to. And then a meeting with the internal and external customers. Internal customers are the ones that work within the company. It could be people from other divisions of the company. External customers are those who, everyone else that's outside of the company. How are we treating them? Because sometimes, a person can get a reputation for being very hard to get along with, very hard to deal with, or, hey, go talk to this person. I know that's not their job, but they will help you and they're awesome. And so think about that. How do you feel towards people? And so it impacts how people respect us, respect our products and our services. Again, services isn't all about us. It's not, I have to make X amount of sales, so I'm going to give them my big sales speech. They don't care. They want to know, what are you going to do for me? That with them, what's in it for me? That's what people are looking for. They want to know, even in your introductions, what can you do for them? And so that's what we need to focus on. Them, not, oh my gosh, I do this, I do that. They're thinking about them. What can you do for them? And so think about that as a solid reputation that attracts people and maintains long-standing relationships. It's awesome when you can book back, oh, gee, I've known this person for 20 years, have a great reputation, and not 20 minutes. And so think about that, maintaining relationships, unless they become a detriment or people move on, and then their thoughts, even with friends, you can be friends with somebody for many years, and then maybe your lives just kind of go a different direction. So with me, I pray for new friends at that time, and God's always faithful to bring new friends around when needed. As people's lives change, they get married, they get divorced, they move out of town, whatever the case may be. And so think about that. And also, proper protocol enhances credibility on sales calls, in negotiations, on the golf course, and definitely while conducting business over meals. So, sales calls, again, it's all about them. So a lot of times when you first meet someone, like at a networking event or whatever, that is not the time to try to make and close a sale. That is the time to actually build trust, build a relationship, build communication, and then set up a meeting to meet with them later to talk to them about the products and services that you can help them with. So, a lot of times people just, passing out the card and want to just get the sale right away. No, a lot of people, especially if it's big ticket items, they're going to want to learn about you. Can they trust you? Do you have the kind of knowledge that they want, that they need? Do you have maybe connections with other people that can help them with another area of their business? And so think about that on sales calls. Again, what all can you do for them? And negotiating, people need to know again that your total focus is on helping them negotiating a price or a service that's good for both sides, not just for one side. On the golf course, a lot of times there are corporations where they will have golf outings so they can really learn about someone else from another company to see if they want to do business with them. So what all's going on a golf course? They could be watching this person. If this person's doing a great job, are they haughty? Is it all about me? Are they maybe flubbing up and it's not a good day playing golf? Are they getting angry? Are they throwing, things? Or are they riding along with it? Just, they can learn so much about a person's attitude and how they will conduct themselves in business golfing with them and seeing how they behave, how positive they are, how negative, whatever the case may be. Are they making good comments, bad comments? And so golf courses, yes, a very good place to learn about someone and their real behavior in the world. And so then conducting business over meals is another thing. A lot of times at a happy hour or a meal, people are being judged by what they're doing. Are they flipping and looking at their phone? Are they eating so fast that they're through way before the other person has had a chance? Are they just jumping right into business? And I'll talk about that a little more in the next program. Or what are they doing? But people will watch very carefully what you're doing, what you're saying, maybe who you brought with you, if that's the case, and make a lot of judgments just by that. So think about all those things that we do. Business social events can be a deal maker or a deal breaker. And so think about business social events and what's going on. Watch other people, watch how people are watching you, and be very observant in that. So again, it's all about perceptions that people are making constantly. So think of manners, appearance, how intelligent conversations. Are the conversations intelligent? Are they open to new ideas? Is the person a good listener? Are you responding and speaking back to the person according to what they're saying, or already gone ahead? Because you know, if somebody interrupts you and they go ahead and they start talking about someone else, or they start talking about their opinion and you haven't even finished what you're going to say, that's somebody that we wouldn't really want to do business with, because there's some controlling issues that need to be taken care of. So again, a good listener is someone who listens, or a good communicator, 60% of the time. Okay, so we have to remember that too, and build the solid relationships that are so important. So again, good listening skills, good communication skills, trying to resolve issues in a good way, not bringing up business immediately, and just trying to push the agenda through. So in the next part, I will continue talking about surefire ways to a powerful professional image. Some great information in there. I look forward to seeing you next time.